Good afternoon, this is Raina McDonald and I'm with Glitter and Glue Card Making Club, and I'm making my first practice video to show you how to put this box together. I wouldn't be surprised if no one else ever saw this video because I'm sure it's going to be full of lots of mistakes and errors, but it is a way to begin. So the project today is to make a little Easter basket. I'm going to show you the first project that I made. Which was this little Easter basket. I made this a couple of years ago, and I'm adapting it to be a slightly smaller version of the project. This one is a 4x4 base and 3¼ inches high. I'm making this smaller one to be a 3x3 base and 3 inches high. So the first thing we need is coordinating paper. This is a double-sided patterned paper. You need to have two visible sides for the paper. In this case, I'm making the box out of a coordinating cardstock. This piece is measures 3½ by 9 inches, and it is scored at 3 and 6 inches on the scoreboard, and it is also scored at 1/4 inch and 3¼ inches. This piece is the other piece of the box, and it is scored at 3 and 6, and it measures 9 by 3 inches. We also have the strips that will be on the outside of the box, and this one measures 3/4 inch by 11 inches, and it is scored at 1/2 inch and at 10½ inches. There are 6 pieces like that of the double-sided paper that are scored at 1/2 inch and 10½ inches. And there are 2 other pieces of paper. This one is going to be the handle, and it measures 11 by 1¼ inches, and it is scored at 1/2 inch and 10½ inches. Although I don't know that that's necessary, I'll have to look back at that. And then this piece is the piece that goes around the inside of the box. It's another way that I've adapted it. It'll go around this piece of the box to hide the tabs that are going to be showing where we glued the strips to the top of the box. And so this piece is 1 inch by 12 inches, and it is scored at 3, 6, and 9. So I'm going to remove the scoreboard because I've already done that work. And we're going to get together and start our gluing. For this project, I'm using the Scotch Permanent Tacky Glue, although almost any liquid glue would probably do just as good a job. So we're going to trim this piece of the card base of the box at these intersections of the 1/4 inch and the 3 inches. There are 4 spots where the score lines intersect. We're going to trim it there and make a slight V to make it fold easier. Same thing with this one. Score to the trim to the score mark and make a slight triangle popping out. Same with this piece right here, and then the last one, we're going to trim this right there. So now we're going to fold these score marks to create our box. So this is going to create the bottom and 2 of the sides of the box, and we will take the other piece that forms the box and place it under like this. So right now we're going to measure our corners so that these two pieces are close, as perfectly matched as we can. We're going to put some glue along this place and then right along the edges. The liquid glue needs to be liquid enough to make you able to measure and position it properly. You need a little wiggle room to make sure that you're lining up exactly. If it's too quick drying, it will make it impossible to actually get a tight fit. So right now you're trying to line up the 3x3 bottoms sections of these two pieces to form the base of this box. Rub it in along here. Now you're going to put some glue along this tab. Don't use too much glue, it'll get all over the place. But this is, and you're just going to put it along here like this, so that that tab forms the base of the box. Same thing on this side. And you'll do the same on either side to form the other two sides of the box. Try and line up these edges as tightly as possible. Press them down on the inside of the box. Careful you don't get too much glue on your workspace. Be a good idea to have some baby wipes handy so that you can get any excess glue off your fingers. And right now you have a very fine box. There you go. Now, it's not perfect. I'm finding I usually have to trim a little bit here to make it a smooth fit. A little bit along here. But it's pretty tight. We can fix that up with the decoration at the end. So this box is now we're going to take the 6 pieces of 3/4 by 11 inch strips, and we're going to lay them out on the bottom of this box. And so you need to find out exactly where your centers are on this box and lay them out that way. I think it'd be a good idea if we found the center and made a mark. So I'm going to turn off the video right now while I do that. So I'm back, and what I did to find this, make this easy, is I found my middle point of my 11-inch strip being 5.5 inches. I measured 1.5 inches to each side to bring me to 3 inches to the left of the middle and 3 inches to the right of the middle. And then when I put the box beside it, I can see that that's a perfect match. I lined up my 6 strips. I took my ruler using the grid line on my work surface as a guide, and I drew a line across all 6 pieces of paper, and then I did the same thing with the other side on the 6-inch line, so that I now have each of these pieces of paper will fit like this, and I can see when I look in the bottom where exactly my mark is. If I move this up, I think I'm outside the frame. There is my little piece of pencil mark there, and I can see it on here. So now what I have to do is glue them. Now remember to make this mark on the wrong side of the paper that you're not going to be seeing from the outside. So we're going to take this paper and we're going to adhere it to the bottom of this box, and we're going to make a 3x3 grid across the bottom of the page. I always like to start on the outside and just put the box down about 1/4 of an inch from the end here on both sides, and just let it sit there that way. Press it down for a minute, let it adhere. Then I'm going to take this, and now I've got the bottom of the box is visible just there. I'm going to do the same thing on this one, and I'm going to use the opposite side. And I'm going to give myself about 1/4 of an inch from the edge as well, putting it this way. Right between those two pencil marks, and about 1/4 of an inch from the inside of the edge. So when I turn it over, you can see my 1/4 of an inch here and my 1/4 of an inch here. My third piece is going to try and be spaced in the middle of those two pieces that are already on the page. I'm going to do this like this, put it down right between the pencil marks, and I'm just eyeballing to make sure that they're pretty much it's pretty much in the center between the two strips that are already there. Turn it over and burnish it a bit just with my fingers. I'm going to do the same thing with these 3 pieces. And there is my bottom of my box with my 3 strips going this direction and 3 strips going across. Now, to make my box have the bows on the outside, I'm going to take these and I'm going to flip this down, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each of these tabs, and we're going to glue it just to the inside of the top of the box. Remember that you've got to leave a little bit of the space, like 1/4 of an inch, to measure up along the same side on the bottom, so that the strip is straight. So you can see how that is just bowing out gently on the side. Then you repeat that on all 3 sides, and I'm going to stop the video while I do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have now put all of my tabs glued into the top of my box, but it looks kind of ugly, so I'm going to hide that with the strip that goes around the inside. But before I try and do that, I'm going to take my 1 1/4 inch piece that's going to be my handle, and I'm going to apply some glue to the outside of this box, or the outside of the strip, I'm sorry, and I'm going to adhere it on one side of the box, in about 3/4 of an inch or so, maybe not a full inch, and try and center it on that side of the box and line it up with the strap, the center strap that's there. If you can see what I'm doing, I'm lining it up here. Hold it just long enough to make it stick, and we'll do the other side. And do it over here, and we will hide all of that glue on the inside of the box. So there is my handle glued to the inside of my box. Now, it's important to use a glue that will dry clear and not dry white, because otherwise you're going to have white glue if it seeps out all over your paper. So now I'm going to take this strip that has been scored at 3, 6, and 9 inches, and we're going to put some glue on this piece, and we're going to adhere it around the top of the inside of the box to hide those tabs where they're glued inside. So we take this now, and we're going to start in one of the corners. I'm going to they're folded along those score lines. We're going to put it in, starting in one of the corners, and we're going to go around until it meets itself. I'm going to start right in this part and glue it right up to the top of the edge. Fit it right inside like that, right to the top. And this one goes along that spot, this one goes along that spot, and then this one goes along that spot. Now you may have to turn a little bit of a corner because it might be not quite a perfect square, but that's okay. Just push it in and overlap it a little bit if you have to. Make sure you've got enough time with your wet glue to make that happen. I got a little stuck, but that's okay because we can just trim this to make it fit, make it look like it's a perfect fit. I'm all about cheating to get it right. I don't know about you, but I'm not a perfect paper crafter. So this is the inside of the box, showing my trim around the top, and this is the outside of the box. And that's the completed box. We can go on to embellish this box, which we will be doing. I have this piece of, this is actually a die cut that I've cut out of an ivory colored pearlized paper. This is going to go over the box like this, and we'll set up, we'll glue it down, and we will run ribbon through it and tie a bow. But I don't have all of those pieces with me, and that's more details. Once I've got it completed, I'll come back and show you the finished part of the box. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for paying attention. Bye.